Uh, okay, so you know what? I've been recalling a lot of things that I've done back in my youth. And you know, I was from elementary school to middle school. I was a pretty quiet kid. I was really quiet. But when I got to high school, for some bad reason, that's when I decided, to nut up and just act a fool. Like, I pulled a couple of pranks on the teachers. Don't get me wrong, I pulled a couple of pranks on the teachers. I think one of the funniest pranks I pulled on one of the teachers is the time I had some fake blood left over from Halloween, right? And I told two of my classmates what I was gonna do. I told Marcus and I told Majesty. Hey, I'm gonna put some fake blood on some tissues, and I'm gonna go into that classroom over there, and I'm gonna tell the teacher that I got punched in the nose. And Marcus was like, okay, I ain't got nothing to do with it though, but okay. And Majesty was like, well, okay. They didn't really take me seriously. I didn't think I would really do it, right? So I went to the bathroom, right? Got myself some tissues, right? Put the fake blood on that, and I held it up to my nose. And when I went in there was somebody just, listening to music. I guess in one of those stalls, listening to music. So I put the fake blood on the tissues, right? And I went to the classroom. I held it up to my nose before I left the bathroom, holding it up to my nose. Went the classroom with the fake blood holding up to my nose, and I said, "Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, I just got punched in the nose." She was like, "What?" "Yeah, I just got punched in the nose." "Oh my God! Like, come here. Hold your head back. Hold your head back." So she's telling me to hold my head back, right? And she's walking me down to the office. Right? When we got to the office, she was hollering out, "Hey, we have an assault here. Letting everybody know that, hey, someone was just assaulted. And Mr. Wazowski, "Oh, you were assaulted. I'll check the cameras." Right? So I went into the nurse's office, right? One of my teachers, his name was Mr. Stevens, right? He came in asking questions like, "Oh my gosh, who did this to you, Deshaun?" And I gave him some just random description off the top of my head. And I said, he was tall and black. I know y'all thinking was like, well, why the fuck he gotta be black? Because I don't know, man, I don't know. But I gave the description that he was tall and black. Alright, and they said, okay, well, was it Osai? No, it was not Osai. And then he asked, was it Marcus? No, it was not Marcus. So, one of the teachers tried touching my nose, right? They said, hey, hold still, I'm going to touch your nose, because it might be broken or tender. So she touched my nose, and I screamed, "Ah!" And I'm just so full of crap here. I'm just, nobody hit me. And I'm, just freaking, just fill them full of crap, right? So, the principal checked the cameras. They got on the intercom and said, "Yes, all male black students report to the gymnasium. Yes, all male black students report to the gymnasium." So they're all in the gymnasium, right? And Mr. Wazowski, which was his name, he was the principal who checked the cameras. He said, "All right, so I found somebody who matched the description that you gave." He told me his name, but I forgot his name. So we're just gonna refer to him as so and so. And he asked, "Deshaun, did so and so hit you?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?" There's a person who actually matched that description that I gave, because when you check the cameras, when somebody who walked out of the bathroom after I left the bathroom just so happened to match the description that I gave, he was tall and black. I had no idea who was in the bathroom listening to music, because he was in the stalls, I didn't see who it was. I just gave some random description off the top of my head, and he just so happened to match the description that I gave. I'm like, hey, my lies came true. So I'm like, oh crap, oh boy. I said, no, so-and-so did not hit me. He's like, okay. So he left a little while. He left, was gone for just a moment, came back and said, Deshaun, are you sure so-and-so did not hit you? And like, yes, I'm sure, Mr. Wazowski. Okay. So then he left again. And a little while later, he comes back and says, Deshaun, that was fake blood now, wasn't it? Yeah, that was fake blood. That was fake blood. So I'm over here thinking, crap, now I'm in trouble. Now I'm in trouble because I wasted everybody's time, blah, 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 blah. And so he reached his hand out, shook his hand, and he said, all right, just get back to class. I'm like, oh. So I'm walking back to class, right? And all of my classmates were looking at me with a smile, like, looking at me like, yeah, motherfucker, we know what you did. So I'm walking back into the classroom, about to take my seat in my assigned seat. And as I was walking back, one of my classmates turned to me and said, so, how far did that get you? And everyone broke out laughing, because everybody heard about what I did. And I think it was Majesty. I think it was Majesty who told him that was fake. I think that was Majesty who told him that. That's just it might have been Marcus, but I personally think it might have been Majesty. I was cracking jokes all the time in class. I was like one of the class clowns, pretty much. I was one of the class clowns. Because ever since I was a little kid, ever since I was just a little kid, I've always dreamed of being a comedian. Always dreamed of being a comedian. And I was just cracking jokes. Sometimes I would sit down and write the joke, like, let me think of a joke, writing it down, writing the joke down, then write it down. Because I was so going to forget the joke later on. I was so going to forget it if I didn't. I'll write it down. And I'll go up to my classmates, I'll be like, pull out the notes that I wrote down, like the jokes I wrote down. And I'm just telling jokes here. And I'm like, okay, got a joke right there, just gonna... I told another joke, I got that joke, just freaking marking jokes off after I told them. Got done telling them. And, I just had a good time. But there were, when I'm telling jokes, I think that like the best setup joke you could tell is a setup joke. Set them up for a joke. Set them up for a joke. And that's what I did, right? Because my day job is at McDonald's. I'm a cook / crew trainer. I cook the food and I train people on how to prepare the food, cook the food, all that sorts of junk. And there goes the general manager. Her name is Bree, right? And I had this joke planned. I was planning this setup joke so perfectly. I was planning it for like 30 minutes, going on and on in my head, right? And once I got it all planned out, got all the laughs out, went straight up to the general manager, Bree. She's one of the big bosses. She was one of the big bosses there. And I like to play with fire here. Worst that happens is she doesn't find it amusing and I get fired. But, I've been fired before. I can get a new job. But anyways, I went straight up to her. And I said, excuse me, Bree? And I had a dead blank expression on my face. Like, looking dead serious. Because you can't tell a setup joke, go, hey, watch this. Hey, Because then they can know some shit's up, right? So I had to keep a straight face. Went up to the general manager, Bree, and I said, excuse me, Bree, I have a very urgent concern in regard to the milkshakes. I've known about this for a very long time, and I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to cause any hysteria or cause a panic. I've known about this for a very long time, but if I didn't say anything, it was just going to make things even worse. And my concern is if we are not careful with these milkshakes, I'm really worried about the extremely high amount of boys that it'll bring to the yard. And then I paused, and she's looking at me. She's looking at me, right? And it goes, face turns bloodshot red. But no, not bloodshot red out of anger. Bloodshot red out of amusement. Bloodshot red. Goes, ear to ear smile, going. She was on the counter, just like laughing loud as hell. Like, oh crap, that got a bigger reaction than I thought. Oh my god, now, holy crap! I'm over here thinking, I'm thinking that, but no, it's like. Like shook, oh crap, what's going on here? Go, she laughed out of amusement, like, laughing, holy shit. Oh, that got a bigger freaking reaction than I thought. Just ear to ear smile, laughing out of just pure joy. And then the next day I went into work. One of the managers, his name is Marquise, he decided to kind of rip off my joke a little bit here, just to mix it up a little bit. He said, hey, Deshaun, I got a concern about, something. Oh, okay, yeah, but he told you about that. Yeah, she told me about that. She was freaking hilarious. Yeah. Honestly, your best joke is a setup joke that you set somebody up for. And I do my best to refrain myself from work. Most of the time, I'm just working, just getting to meet up, all that sorts of stuff. I mainly work the grill. That's where they mainly just keep me at. I do other stuff, but I mainly work the grill. When I'm not working the grill, I'm working the fried products where you just dip the nuggets, the McChicken, blah, 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 blah. And fry that. And when I'm not doing that, I'm just, I'm preparing the food to be served, and when I'm not doing that, I'm on the line. That's pretty much just it. But I think there's another, there's actually another manager. His name's Eric. He's he's a nice guy. He's great. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to set him up to you, right? So I went up to him and I asked him, hey, how long can the cookies stay out on display before they go bad and we gotta toss them out? And he says, well, normally, after 4 hours, we toss them out every single time. I'm like, oh, okay, well, instead of tossing them out, can I, just go ahead and give them to David Ruff? That is, no. I'm like, man, do you even know who David Ruff is? I do not. He's the puppeteer for Cookie Monster. So he goes up to one of the other managers, trying to tell my joke, trying to tell the story of my joke, right? So he went to go tell another manager named LaDonna, trying to tell the joke, and I'm standing right here like, yeah, I'm standing right here. I'm the one who told the joke. I'm the one who was there. I'm the one who initiated the whole thing. So I'm going to know that she messed up the joke. Right, because I'm standing right here. And he's like, you know, Deshaun, to tell LaDonna the joke. So I told it to her. Goes, face kind of turned a little bit red there. But you got to know who and who not to do it to. Like one of the big bosses. Like, I honestly, I kind of, just manager. because I had to spend time around. You got to spend time around a person when you're telling a joke, because sometimes and study them because they may or may not find it amusing, which is a mistake I have made a plethora of times. A plethora of times they didn't find it amusing at all. I remember back in high school, I did a little setup joke on my friend David, right? And we're in high school. I was 18. He was probably 18 or 19. So I decided to pull a little prank on him, a little setup joke. So I pulled out my phone, right? And I said, "Hey, David, are you busy?" He says, "No, what's up?" I was just wondering, is it okay if I show you something? He's like, "Yeah, sure." So I had my phone out, I had a picture of a girl, and I said, "Hey, you think she's attractive?" She's okay, but you do find her to be very attractive. Well, not very attractive, but you know, she's okay. All right, but you are still attracted to her, all right? Like, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm attracted to her." I'm like, "Oh, okay, and you'll date her, all right?" He says, "Yeah." And I said, "David, is it okay if I tell you something?" He says, "Yeah, what's up?" But the picture of the girl that I just showed you is is my little sister, and she's 12 years old." He's like, "Wait, what?" And the teacher saw the whole thing. The teacher saw the whole thing. He's like, whoa, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I'm like, "Wait, what I do? I didn't do nothing." And the teacher's like, "You set him up, man." I'm like, "What? You set him up?" And yeah, I so set him up for that. I so set him up. And he says, "Hey, man, if you're going to be doing stand-up, you got to do things that people would find to be funny, right? Like him, for example. He wants to be a cop, so he wouldn't have found something like that to have been funny." I'm like, "Oh, he wants to be a cop?" I swear I didn't know he wanted to be a cop. If I had known he wanted to be a cop, I wouldn't have done that to him. He was a bit upset after that. And then I waited a little while. Waited a few minutes after, like 7-10 minutes after that. And I said, "Hey, David. Hey, David. David." And he's just, and the teacher was like, "No, I'm not answering you after what you did." Yeah, it's a trip, man. It's well, when you're doing comedy, it's a game of Russian roulette. Think of it as a game of Russian roulette. Pretty much. You put the bullet in the revolver, spin it. Oh, it didn't go off then. Didn't go off then. Yeah, because eventually you're gonna get that bullet if you keep at it, and you're gonna, you know. But if you do what I said and study somebody and study their likes and dislikes, you can anticipate what they like and do not like. But you really got to be around a person to know what they find funny and do not find funny at all. Like me, I personally, I love ethnic humor, sexual humor, dark humor, satire, blue comedy, observational comedy. I find that freaking hilarious. But you gotta, when you're using dark humor, ooh, you gotta be really careful with that. I'm like, dark humor is one of the funniest, but also the most touchiest form of comedy. If you pull it off right, you're gonna have everybody laughing. But if you make a mistake, your ass is in boiling water. Yeah, you're gonna land in some hot water if you do. I would probably stay clear of dark humor, right? Because I told this one dark humor joke, right? I was still in school. I was walking to my classroom, right? And I was about to sign the sign-in sheet. And as I'm doing that, my teacher said, "Hi, how are you?" And I decided to mess with her, and I said, not so good, actually. And the teacher says, "Why, are you sick?" And I said, "No, you see, my uncle, he lost an arm." And she says, "Oh my gosh, how?" Well, you see, what happened was that my uncle was just walking down the sidewalk, just minding his own business, and a towing truck driver sped past him. And when the towing truck driver sped past him, those wires and stuff that they used to pick the cars up and tow them away was just sticking out all loose and goosey, right? And when the towing truck driver sped past my uncle, the wires were wrapped around his arm and tore it clean off, and the driver sped off with my uncle's arm. And there were two police officers in a police car that saw the whole thing. One of the officers got out to help my uncle, while the other one went to go pursue the driver. And it's amazing how I was able to keep a straight face through all of that, by the way. It's amazing how I was able to keep a straight face. Not a lot of people can do that, but anyways. And, yeah, one of them got out to help my uncle, and it's very serious. My uncle, he almost bled to death. He survived, but he lost a lot of blood. He's still alive, but he lost a lot of blood, like I said. And they captured the driver. And when the driver was captured, he was charged with armed robbery. And she thought, I'm over here thinking she was going to catch on that I was messing with him, but no, she took her glasses off and she's like, "Oh, wow." I'm like, "Oh, crap, I was messing with you." I'm over here thinking she was going to catch on. I thought she was going to catch on. But no, she didn't catch on. But, sometimes a lot of people don't, if you don't get it, you don't get it. If you got to explain a joke, then there really is no joke. If you got to explain it, they should be able to get it when, "Oh, hee hee ha ha." If you got to explain a joke, then there is no joke when you think about it. Honestly. But, yeah, this is all I have to say for this little homemade stand-up that I did for you guys right here. I hope you guys like my little stand-up routine I did for you that I just did at home. I hope you guys liked it. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe. That's all I really have to say for this video. You guys have a good one.